And we back. Welcome to the All Sports Matter podcast. I am your boy JB. Or as you can see, we drafted a kicker. I'm lost, but let's get right into it. We missed y'all last week. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So I'm gonna bring my fellas in. Y'all come in one at a time. I don't need to introduce y'all because they know who y'all is. All right, I'll introduce y'all. Mr. Preach. What'd you say? Preach peace? No, I choose violence today. So let's bring him in. Talk to the people. Oh, y'all drafted 11. I hate him. I hate him so much, y'all. So much. Y'all see what he doing to me, right? Anyway, me, myself, and I.
Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I want to know. You might have drafted a kicker. You might have drafted a kicker, but where's your hat? Did he kick it off your head?
Yes, he did. I ain't even got a haircut. Y'all see how I did? Yeah, I don't even care. And he kept his quarterback. I know he happy. He excited.
Ooh, thank you, Jesus.
He was out there in Baltimore threatening everybody. We trying to get bail money up because he was out there trying to threaten folks. But let's jump right into it, fellas. Let's jump right into it. Y'all saw what was going on over the last couple of weeks. Welcome back, Amir. Welcome back to joining the land of the living, if you will. I don't like the way I said that. I don't like the way I said it.
I'm so lost right now. What just happened?
We go erase that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We go erase that. Welcome back from the movie theater. I'm gonna say it that way. Because I went to a whole different area just now and my brain broke. Let's talk about the NFL draft, fellas.
Yes, let's talk about the draft.
Because we was going down the lonely highway for some strange reason. I don't know what happened. Did y'all see any surprises besides a kicker going in the third round? Did y'all see any surprises in the first couple of rounds of the draft?
Levis fall into the second round.
Levis, the tight end from Notre Dame, falling.
With so many quality tight ends, I kind of figured that was going.
But he was the one. They said that was the one.
He wasn't even the first one to go, though.
No, he wasn't. That's what I'm saying. He was not the first one to go.
Which is that's the crazy part.
Yeah. He was supposed to be the best tight end available and was supposed to be the quote unquote most complete tight end. And he was not the first one to leave the board. It was pretty it was interesting.
I think two running backs going in the first round before a wide receiver. Two running backs went off the board before a wide receiver went off the board.
And the fact that Atlanta was the one that snatched the first one off.
I like that.
I did too. That was a nice pick.
I like that.
I didn't think they would do it though.
I like the pick. Atlanta got a lot of running backs.
They got options now. You know what I mean?
Yes, they do. It's smart.
They can run Bijan and Alger together.
Yeah.
Trade Alger, get some picks back. I mean, they got options.
They still got Cordero, right? That's his name?
Yeah.
He's a free agent.
Yeah, free agent.
They haven't paid him yet.
They ain't gonna resign him?
They don't need him.
They don't need him anymore. They got a running back.
They got John Robinson.
And they got
he pay wide receiver
everything he did. But he wasn't productive like that.
Wide receiver strictly. He been strictly a wide receiver since he left Minnesota.
But I mean, you still gonna need a second receiver though, huh? You got Drake London. You got the tight end who ain't been doing nothing.
But the role that Cordell Patterson has, Bijan Robinson can do that and more.
That's true. I get that, but I mean, well, yeah. He better figure something out.
I like what Atlanta doing. All they need now is Tannehill. I said what I said.
Didn't they draft another quarterback?
No.
I was talking about Tennessee.
Yes.
They have 3 quarterbacks.
It's right there. We drafted Levis.
What they gonna do with the boy they
Malik
drafted?
Willis.
Malik Willis. He gonna be third string right now.
Ain't got no wide receivers.
Still ain't got no wide receiver.
Converted.
I don't understand that one at all. Maybe the trade market, but we ain't got but 4 picks in next year's draft already because we done traded them all.
Y'all ain't got no
We
wide
got a
receivers.
first, a second, a fifth, and a sixth next year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't got no receivers because Baltimore snatching them all up.
Hey man, we only got one, but I needed him so bad. Who I needed?
You don't like Odell
No, I'm talking about in the draft.
in the draft.
I love Odell.
I like Lil Zay. Lil Zay is
Zay Flowers was special. Lord, thank you, Jesus.
He looks like Hollywood.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Hollywood Flowers. We don't call him Hollywood Flowers.
Look, don't put that evil on my new player like that. Don't put that evil on him. He deserves so much better. He deserves so much better.
And can we please talk about real quick the retirement home that is the New York Jets?
Say what say.
It's gonna be nice. I mean, they had the defensive and offensive rookie of the year last.
Yeah, no, they gonna be nice.
I
What did you need to sign? What's his name for? What's their receiver?
Randall Cobb.
Yeah,
that's Aaron Rodgers' homeboy.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Hill, Lazard. I mean, they gonna bring it all the compliments.
I mean, that offense still gonna run through Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson.
So what you bringing them for veteran leadership?
That's Aaron Rodgers' homeboy.
That's what Aaron wanted.
All right, I get you.
Yeah.
I don't know no other way to put it that way.
And you know they Max Crosby, is that his name? Max? Well, Crosby reached out to the Jets this morning.
Oh yeah,
to possibly be signed with them as well. The kicker.
I'm so tired of them.
Oh, Mason Crosby. I was about to say
Mason. Thank you.
That's the Raiders DN. That's why.
No. I'm talking about the kicker. My bad. Crosby. Mason reached out this morning about signing. So I was like, well, I don't see any names.
I can't see names.
Yeah. Now,
before you move on, Jim.
You know who talk about the Georgia Bulldogs? I'm so tired of him.
Yeah. So how does Lamar do with new wide receivers? Mm-hmm. He's going to do just fine. We have a good offensive coordinator that knows how to call real plays, so a quarterback can try to be very dominant with his arm as well as his legs. So this should be a very good year for Lamar. So that way we can get those individuals who don't believe Lamar can pass the ball. They'll be able to find out.
Excuses. You got no excuses.
Y'all got no excuses.
Y'all got rid of Greg Roman, huh?
Lamar.
We kicked him out fast.
They got Monkey.
We got Monkey. And he is, very, very good. I did not know he was the offensive coordinator in New York with Odell when he burst on the scenes.
Well, that's just another reason to go pick Odell up because he know the system already, huh?
Speaking of Georgia, is Philly going to draft every Georgia Bulldog defensive player that comes out?
Did you see it?
That's the NFL's for letting that happen.
I was very surprised they let one fall to the 49ers. I was like, oh, okay. Y'all just go take him out.
They got 3.
Just stingy.
They got 3.
Do you know that Georgia and Alabama make up 12 players on that doggone squad? They have 12 players between both schools on that one squad.
And still ain't gonna win.
I'm guessing it's 10 Georgia and 2 Alabama.
Huh? Say that again?
It's 10 Georgia, 2 Alabama.
10 Georgia and 2 Alabama.
No. It's literally 6 and 6. It's Devontae Smith.
Got more than 6.
I'm talking about defense.
I'm talking about all the way around. I ain't talking about just defense. I'm talking about all the way around.
They got 5 players off the Georgia.
Off that defense alone. Yeah. And they're all going to start. I think all 5 of us slated to start this year.
I don't think Kelly. I don't think Ringo will start because they still got.
You don't think so?
They still got Slay and
Didn't they let somebody go at the corner? They let one of their corners go.
Slay left,
Huh?
And I thought Slay was a free agent.
I thought Slay left.
Nah,
they resigned him.
Slay.
They resigned him.
I was about to say that's smart.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so yeah, we can go start.
So we got a couple of over/under questions. Lamar Jackson over/under 4,000 yards pass.
Hey, he said he gonna throw for 6,000.
He dreaming. Let's go for
I still got under 4.
Bradbury. That's the other corner. Bradbury.
Bradbury.
No, all right. Good.
I'll give him over 4.
Over 4. Which you said over 4, Amir?
Under.
Under 4.
He said under.
No, I'm gonna go over.
Over.
He's going over. Think about this. The year he won MVP. The year he won MVP, there was no Odell.
The only reason I say over is I don't think they're going to try to run him in the ground now that they done paid him.
No,
I don't think they're going to try to run him into the ground. So
I think he'll
he's
go
going to
right.
have a lot more opportunities to pass.
But that wasn't.
If he can win the MVP with just Brown and Andrews at the wide receiver. I mean, tight end, wide receiver, whatever. He played like a wide receiver, but he threw for 3,600 with those two. So there's no way he's not going to go over 4 with these weapons he's got right now. He might.
I think
but it's going to depend on how long. If Odell can stay healthy.
And that brings me to my next over/under. Odell play over or under 10 games.
I'm praying over.
I'm going to give him over. I'm going to say over.
I'm saying over.
I'm going to say over only because he's missed pretty much. He missed all of last year. So, I mean, he's had time to get healthy. I mean, he had no wear and tear on his body in the last year.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I think he can get to at least 12, 13 games.
All right. What you say, Amir?
Exactly what Flex said. I agree with him. He already took I was gonna say that he took last year off. So I meet y'all halfway. I say push. He plays 10.
All right. I respect it. Okay. Who scores more touchdowns, Zay or Odell?
Zay.
I say Zay.
I'm gonna say Odell only because I think Lamar is he's gonna trust Odell more than he's gonna trust Zay.
I don't think it's about being trust. I just think about who's gonna be open. I think they're gonna double up on Odell because nobody knows Zay yet.
Right.
I think Zay will find himself open more.
But if they double up on Odell, Mark Andrews gonna go crazy.
Okay,
so that's what I'm hoping. Exactly what I'm about to say. I'm hoping Mark Andrews goes nuts because I have him in fantasy, but I'm hoping he goes nuts.
And I think,
but the question was touchdowns. I think Flowers will find the end zone more than Odell.
It's not just receiving touchdowns. It's not just receiving. He can, because I mean, you can throw packages in there where you throw in sweeps to Zay Flowers and everything like they did with Debo and they starting to do with more receivers. So,
but Zay Flowers ain't built like Debo.
He is not. Debo
is like a running back. You know what I mean? Like Zay's a little on the small side.
He's small size. He just real crisp and really fast.
Mm-hmm.
With his route running. So
if he catch it, come around that end and catch that corner, he might be able to get around there. So
yeah, but shit, Debo runs up the middle and everything.
He do.
You know what I mean? So that's why when you said Debo, I was like, yeah.
I need
Debo.
Look,
I don't know who said that. Zay built like Hollywood Brown. Ain't that what I said?
That was Betts.
Before we came on air, I said Zay Flowers reminds me.
We call him Hollywood Flowers. His nickname is Hollywood Flowers now. That's his name forever.
Please stop referencing that garbage.
It's not my fault. That's who your team like to pick up. People that look like
we let him go about his business. So move on. Let's move on away from that little fella there. He makes my stomach hurt.
Who do y'all see winning offensive rookie of the year this year?
Bijan.
Bijan?
I think
from the rookies? From the you talking about rookie?
Rookie. Yep.
Well, I mean, yeah, Ricky has the win rookie of the year.
I think I
thought he said offensive player of the year. I'm sorry.
Offensive rookie of the year.
Offensive rookie.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. Go ahead, Rob.
Jahmyr Gibbs. I think it's going to be Jahmyr Gibbs in Detroit.
I'm sticking with Bijan. I don't know about Jahmyr Gibbs though, because Detroit they're gonna throw the hell out of that ball.
He runs routes.
I mean, like
he's more like he's very similar to Swift, except for he's faster and he runs better routes.
Here's one thing both of y'all. Here's one thing both of y'all didn't take into account. They're going into sharing platoon running back. Okay, Bijan with Algier. The Lions signed David Montgomery. Okay, so I'm going Bryce Young, who's going to have the ball in his hand majority of the time, and who is also running. And they have the running game of Miles Sanders, and they have couple weapons out there. Not as good as obviously they gave away DJ Moore, but I'm gonna go with Bryce Young, saying it's his show in Carolina.
Yeah,
well, the problem is
how hard is it for a rookie quarterback to adjust to the league? I'm not saying it won't happen. But a running back has an easier transition from college to pros.
And the thing is, Bryce Young.
I said Bijan is because I don't think Ritter is that guy. So they're going to lean on that running game more.
Yeah. And that division is trash, and everybody knows it. So that is a good point. But the reason why I was saying I'm not – I feel you, Amir, and Lord knows I love Bryce Young, but the problem, what the head coach said today, that they're going to hold him up off the field until he gets a good grasp of the playbook, how to run the playbook, and how to be the starter. So I think it's going to take him probably a couple of games before he gets started, and then he'll adjust. But I don't think he'll start day one. I hope he does, but I don't think he'll start day one.
Who?
That's why I didn't say Bryce Young. I think they're going to have the backup start, whoever the backup is.
Nah. I think he comes in.
I'm just going off what the head coach said.
Right. Yeah, he can say what he wants.
He got time to learn that system too.
I think
Bryce. And that's the thing. He's going to pick it up. I think he'll pick it up, but I don't think day one. I don't know.
Fields went out there with no weapons, and
yeah. I mean, you still got CJ Stroud and stuff out there, and we got one vote for Jordan Addison. He said he'll get a bunch of looks on the other side of Justin Jefferson.
He is. I agree with that one. I don't think he wins offensive,
but not enough
year. But he's going to have a good season.
He go eat. He go get numbers. But
he's going to have a good season.
So
JSN, I don't even know if he's gonna stay healthy. Somebody just said JSN. I don't even know if he's gonna stay healthy.
JSN. Oh. So all right. So we got that. Where y'all looking for defensive rookie of the year?
I honestly think Porter Jr. is going to go out here and wow completely out.
You took mine because I think
that's actually where I was leaning.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna.
I really think we're in the consensus with that one.
He's gonna play with a chip on his shoulder because he wasn't expecting to go to the second round.
Exactly.
And in Pittsburgh,
where his dad gonna have a hand all in there.
Where he grew up,
he's gonna be a monster. And of course,
I think he's gonna play pissed off all year.
All year long. And I do believe Will Anderson and Carter are going to be in that conversation as well.
Man, that Philly defense is just too stacked.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Philly defense is stacked.
Yeah, I mean, you lose one D tackle, and then you go right there in the draft and you pick up the replacement immediately. So
the consensus number one player in the draft, and he went to the I know that they had all these character issues, his weight, he ballooned, but he went to the perfect spot because now you got a Fletcher Cox that can get in his head. You got a Brandon Graham that can get in his head. Plus, all his boys from Georgia right there.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean,
He right there in the same. He know all the people that's there, so it don't
Exactly.
about to fit right on in there.
Carter's going to be.
I think they're gonna. I
incredible.
think they're gonna get the best out of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And then depending on how quickly Smith can come around, I just man, that defense is going to be
It's still
insane.
Hassan Reddick.
Right.
Somebody nobody talks about. That's
Nobody even mentions.
Getting that he's still out there. Philly, they still gonna be a problem.
Yes.
Fleck, I got a question for you, Fleck. Given the situation in Tennessee, how long do you think it'll be until Levis is starting?
it depends on what happens with Tannehill. If Tannehill is gonna be there this year, he's gonna be the starter the entire year unless he gets hurt. But if Tannehill gets traded before the season, then I honestly think they're going to let Levis and Willis battle it out. And, I think Levis comes out on top. But, I think if it depends on what they do with Tannehill. If Tannehill stays, then Levis is going to be on the bench the entire year. Unless the season starts going south and they're like out of it, then I think they're going to want to see what they got with Levis.
I was about to say, so you don't see a situation to where Tannehill is just in there just playing terribly, and they go to Levis and Levis is turning it up and he got things turning around. You don't think they gonna go to him?
Like I just said, if the season is starting to go south, I think they're going to want to see what they got with Levis. But I mean, I guess if Tannehill's healthy this year, I don't see them putting Tannehill on the bench.
So you think they'll wait until they don't have a shot at the playoffs to make the change?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That cap hit is too much for Tannehill.
Exactly, and that's what I was about to say.
So,
exactly.
If they're out of it by week 12, bringing Levis so he can transition to the next season, then know Tannehill's gone. But once the season's over, and I agree with all of y'all, once the season's over, Levis will take over the last few games of the season to get his feet wet.
Exactly.
And that's the
I'm really curious about Malik Willis, though. I really wonder.
And I want to answer that question. Willis must really be really, really bad. It ain't even that. Like, I don't think they gave him a
fair shot.
You know what I mean? Because, like, that offensive line was terrible. There were no receivers. Yes, Josh Dobbs came in and did what he did. But, I mean, Josh Dobbs also was in a quarterback room with Ben Roethlisberger. So he's been able to study the game longer than Malik Willis has. I don't think Malik got a fair shot last year. And if they're basing their decision off of what we've seen of him last year, that's not fair.
Right.
Because that line was terrible and the receivers were and still are terrible.
Right. And I think that's where it comes into what you said, that they're gonna let him and Willis battle it out. And if we gonna see what happens. You come into the season, we gonna see who number two, because who number two clearly is gonna win that battle. So let's see what happens.
So y'all know how I felt about them drafting Levis. We were talking during the draft. Y'all know I did not want Levis. Period. Now I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he proves me wrong. You know what I mean?
I'll add one more thing when it comes to
Josh Rosen,
Willis.
Get a fair shot.
Now, obviously, play time is going to help him with that, but he didn't have the eject button in his head yet. Like, he held on the ball too long, or he didn't get out the pocket when he needed to. And again, that comes with playing football. We get that, But that was the difference between him and Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs was like 1-2, buckle my shoe, I gotta go.
Yep.
Willis was like, no, I got this. And again, that comes with game time.
Right, exactly.
So that's one thing I won't knock him for. He just needs more time.
Right.
Well, like I said, I can't see who's saying what, but did Josh Rosen get a fair shot? No, because they drafted Kyler Murray the next year, and
but he didn't.
Matt Corral got hurt. So how?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Did he get a fair shot? He got hurt.
No.
He said John Marshall said he think Josh Rosen was his own worst enemy.
He really was.
You know what? I kind of agree with that, because he had a couple spot starts with Miami and Arizona. And you can tell that he just wasn't there. So again, it comes with playing time, but you can't give a whole season to somebody you don't think is ready,
Right.
and that he doesn't think is ready, and that's just bad news, you know.
Right.
And that's what happened with Josh Rosen.
But I think that the Matt Corral correlation was just all off. Dude got hurt in the preseason. He never played. So what do you mean?
He never played.
He said Carolina drafted Jimmy Clausen, then Cam Newton the next year.
Do you blame him?
But Jimmy Clausen played though.
He played, but do you blame them for going with Cam Newton after what he did?
I'm a Notre Dame fan. I knew Jimmy Clausen wasn't
They
there.
played
Jimmy Clausen was not it.
number one pick. So
I knew that. That's like saying, hey, the Saints, let's throw in Ian Book, you know, before we give Derek Carr a chance. And this is me as a Notre Dame fan.
Let's do it. Let's go. I want him to put Ian Book in. That's just me though. Speaking of teams with that drafted a quarterback, why the Rams drafted Stafford?
Stetson.
That actually wasn't a bad move.
That's a smart move.
It was a good move.
Not a bad move at all.
You drafted a quarterback that's older than your current quarterback.
Yes, but he's healthier than the current quarterback.
Healthy. I like that move. I like that by the Rams.
No, I like the move.
I like it too.
I don't know if I'm going to have that Georgia level success,
Right.
but I mean, I like the reasoning behind why the Rams did it.
So how long until Stafford get hurt again?
Depends on his elbow. You know, he's always had back issues, but last year wasn't his back.
I said week 2.
So
last year was his elbow, but
there's no telling.
He had to have like Tommy John surgery or something, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it was Tommy John.
You know, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna answer that question, John Marshall. Why Stetson Bennett? Sorry, backing up Matt is a good move. I don't know if you're being facetious or you know, because you're a Georgia guy, but Stetson Bennett at this point has nothing to lose. Everybody already rid him off. Everybody.
I think he was saying
so
why
he goes in there with the mindset of the offense the Rams have, who matches the tempo that Georgia played with, and his skill set. You know what? I think it's a positive. I'm with you, Fleck. It's a positive that Stetson Bennett went to the Rams.
He wasn't saying why.
I think he was saying like, why do we think it's a bad move? He thinks it's a good move.
He thinks it's a good move.
I think he's saying that to my statement when I first brought it up.
And plus the fact, I mean, he's getting mentored by a Georgia legend who has been in the league now for so long, and he's won a Super Bowl, so he could help mentor him and teach him the ins and outs like he needs to, and then help him work on his game. And maybe make him a better. Well, he will definitely make him a better quarterback. I'm sure he'll push him hard. So they'll have that correlation, that tie together. And I think it's a great move. It is. He went higher than I thought he was going to go. So
yeah, it was a great move. So
Sean McVay's a good coach too. I said Sean McVay's a good coach too.
I'm just saying, he just might. He might be pretty good.
I said Sean McVay is pretty good. I don't know who Sean McKay is, but Sean McVay is a pretty good guy. So at this point,
was it Sean McKay an announcer somewhere?
I thought
it was
Sean McKay
works at Jack McKay. I thought it was Jack McKay.
Sean McKay works at Kmart off of the Route 66.
Route 66?
Not anymore.
Kmart.
I don't know. Who at this point, right now, would y'all say won the draft?
Philly.
Hey, look, no BS, and it's gonna pain me to say this. The Giants had a good draft.
Giants had a really good draft.
They didn't win the draft as far as the teams, but the Giants didn't have a good draft.
Yeah, Pittsburgh had a very good draft.
Yeah.
And Jim McKay
I think Houston
from Monday Night Football.
Houston made some good moves. I give them Houston. Philly
Houston made some great moves.
Definitely had a great draft.
Baltimore had a good draft.
I'll tell you, Pittsburgh I think had a good draft as well.
They had a great draft as well. That move by Houston though, that drafting and then coming right back and drafting at 3 and getting both of the 2 players you really wanted.
Let me tell you something.
That was an amazingly great move.
They gave up a lot though, so they
need a lot.
Also, free agencies coming in.
D'Amico was know what it on his mind.
Yeah, D'Amico Ryan is trying to change the culture right now, and he went all in to try to get that.
I mean, he did the thing, and Cleveland's sitting out there talking about their number one pick, they first round draft pick. I don't know why Cleveland is still allowed to talk. Like
Cleveland is the reason why my quarterback almost didn't get signed. I don't like it.
Just slap the entire organization in the mouth. Shut up.
They're doing stupid mess.
Look what we
Giving
did.
people fully guaranteed contracts. What's wrong with you people?
So who y'all think? Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say I think New England had a great drafted the best kicker and punter, and your special teams is always top notch.
That's the way they go.
I don't know because I heard the 49ers drafted the kicker so early because he was the best one in the draft. I'm still upset.
Not according to Mel Kiper, he wouldn't.
I'm still super upset about it though.
The best one was the one the Patriots took.
That didn't make no sense.
The one pick that really chafed my cheeks, and I'm really, really, really worrying about how he meshes with that offense, is the tight end out of Georgia that went to Pittsburgh.
Darnell Washington.
Lord have mercy.
They don't need him to be. They don't need him to be a pass catcher.
Exactly. He don't have to be
as a sixth offensive lineman.
Right. He'll be a sixth offensive lineman. But then what if they open it up? Right. That's why I said, Sarge, I got to see that monster 2 times a year now, and I'm not a fan.
Rob, what can you tell me about this tight end from Alabama that the 49ers picked up in the 3rd round? Larko Lupo.
Latu. You mean Latu?
Latu.
Look, he's a really good blocker. He's a really good blocker, runs good routes, hard go getter. He's going to be a good complement to what y'all already have in place, and you got another weapon. Once he gets a hold of that playbook and he can develop it into that playbook, y'all got another weapon that's going to make y'all pretty dangerous.
Because from what I understood, John Lynch said he reminded him a lot of George Kittle. So
very much so. Very much so. He's got to work on his hands, though. He's got to work on his hands because he had some major drops last year.
No, he's going to be a tight end.
I got for you, Jimmy, though.
Ooh, give it to me.
Who's your quarterback?
I don't know yet.
We say this every week.
They've
been shopping Trey Lance for a while.
Tannehill's
Purdy.
Well,
hey, you can get Tannehill right now.
He gonna be available.
Tannehill's available.
You can get Tannehill right now.
Trey Lance at this point has been cleared to play fully. He's fully cleared to play. He's been taking all the first team reps in the volunteer OTAs. He out there. Brock Purdy has been there. He's been in the building. He still can't really move his arm. Well, he can move his arm, but they haven't cleared him to do anything. He is supposed to start just kind of gently tossing the ball in June. Is some folks out there, some quote unquote journalists that's saying that they could see Sam Darnold starting week 1. I don't see that ever happening, but
if Purdy's not ready to go,
Trey Lance is starting.
I thought they didn't like Lance.
Who said they didn't like Lance?
Nobody wanted Lance.
They were receiving calls about Trey Lance. They weren't actively shopping him. They wasn't calling people asking if they wanted him. People was calling them about Trey Lance.
Well, I mean, I think that's how trades work anyway. I don't think nobody calls and be like, "Hey, do you want Tannehill?"
Hey, I got somebody on the grill for you right here, baby. You can get Tannehill for that hot 5th rounder.
That's what went out to the league. It was like, hypothetically, if y'all want to play Lance, what would y'all give up for him? Hypothetically.
I mean, you saw what happened with Houston. You know, I'm like, hey, y'all want this dude?
Hey. What happened with Houston?
When they were trying to get rid of Deshaun Watson.
Man, Deshaun Watson was making his own phone calls.
Yeah, he was like, hey,
what's your masseuse scene?
Hey, how many masseuse within a 20-mile radius of the stadium?
Wait a minute. Y'all got the masseuse convention?
Just be happy to sign Sam Darnold. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't really care. As long as you can win the game, go up in there and do your thing. Throw the football, get paid. Yeah. I feel like if Purdy not ready, I think it is Trey Lance's job to lose. Now, will he lose it? That's up to him. Tito, what's up, baby? Who lost the draft?
Lost
the draft? You mean like
the Raiders? I don't like what the Raiders did.
The Raiders always have weird drafts. Though.
That's
like
par for the Raiders.
It's become norm for them to have a weird draft.
The only person that they drafted worth a damn was a tight end. That's the only thing they drafted worth a damn was a tight end. Outside of that, it was like, let's just draft 5 defensive linemen and figure it out. I don't know what was going on in that draft room.
I don't know why Tennessee waited until the 7th round to draft a receiver.
They didn't lose.
I mean, that's a head scratcher. I don't think they lost the draft, though, but that was a head scratcher. Like, I didn't understand that.
Yeah. Obviously, they didn't feel like they needed no receivers. They say they're happy with what they got.
Yeah,
and I don't know what did Denver do? Denver didn't have nothing, right? They didn't do nothing.
Denver had a pretty good, but what they had though,
they had a middle of the road draft.
I haven't heard anything about Denver.
They had a right in the middle of the radar draft. It wasn't nothing to write home about, but it wasn't terrible.
The Jets
and the Saints. I haven't heard anything about the Saints either. Now think about it.
The Jets didn't they need offensive linemen?
The Jets did pick up a good defensive guy. He was good, but it was a reach. But it wasn't a need. What the problem was, they panicked once Green Bay picked who they wanted, the offensive lineman. I think it was Green Bay. I think it was Green Bay was the pick before that. They swore the offensive line was going to be there.
Oh, no. The Steelers traded up.
The Steelers picked him up.
The Steelers traded up.
The Jets was set on that one guy and that one guy only. It's like, we know he's going to be there. We ain't looking at nobody else. And then when he got picked, you can tell the Jets was like, oh, shit.
The Steelers, the Patriots was petty as hell for that one because they let the Steelers trade up to get that offensive lineman.
That was all Bill Belichick. But the Jets definitely should have drafted some type of offensive lineman because they definitely have a non-mobile quarterback, Mr. Discount.
They picked one up. They picked one up late, but I don't think he's a starter. But they didn't have a bad draft, but they didn't. They damn sure ain't win it. I know that much.
Yeah. Did what's that boy name that from BYU that everybody was talking about, the lineman? Did he get picked up in the
BYU?
Yeah.
Is it BYU?
Yeah, BYU lineman. Damn, what the boy name is? I can't think of the boy name. I know you want
the Cowboys did anything on the draft. We give them that 2 minutes of tackle.
From BYU.
Yeah, he went up.
I don't even know who you're talking about from BYU. Like I don't. Yeah, that one's not. Are you sure it's BYU? I'm not even sure who you're talking about.
Yeah. Fuck, I don't know now. I remember in a minute and I'll come back to it. But Amir, how did Giants did?
I like the Giants. I thought they did. They drafted for need, obviously, and they filled their needs. Picking up the kid from Maryland, a cornerback, and then Jalen Hyatt. Jalen from Tennessee, wide receiver. That's definitely was a need. They picked up a starter late in center. Yeah, I thought they had a great draft. Everybody in the field walks in as pretty much a starter.
I can tell you right now that Jalen Hyatt move is going to pay off in dividends if your quarterback is anywhere near decent with the ball, because that kid is lightning fast, and for some reason they don't think he can run routes. Kid runs pretty nice routes.
Well, no, because at Tennessee
he was
a go route. That was his only. That was his only go.
But he worked on it in the off season. I was watching his when they did pro day. He worked on his route running because he looked pretty good in that pro day.
Well,
Lions drafted Hooker, right?
Giants.
Huh?
What's that?
The Lions picked up Hendon Hooker, the quarterback of Tennessee.
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
So while we're on the subject of the Giants, my fantasy football team rests on this question: what are y'all gonna do with Saquon?
Saquon.
Oh no, they were talking today or yesterday. They were talking yesterday.
Okay, all right.
They're getting to him. They just extended Dexter Lawrence for 4 years. They're going to pay him.
Now, see, hold up. The Dexter Lawrence. I was intending to mess with y'all yesterday about this one, but it slipped my mind. But since you brought it back up just now, y'all gave me hell when Tennessee gave me Jeffrey Simmons basically the same contract that Dexter Lawrence just got.
No. We gave you hell when you said he was a top 2.
He is.
We never mentioned Dexter Lawrence being a top 2.
The only defensive tackle in the league better than Jeffrey Simmons is Aaron Donald.
But look at the precedents the Giants have set. They gave Daniel Jones $40 million a year. So, of course, they're going to overpay everybody else.
I don't think they overpaid him. They paid
overpay
market value.
But
because that's where the market is now.
And they did. They didn't go top 2, top 3, defensive
lineman. He's the highest paid defensive tackle in the league now.
No, he is not.
Yeah, he is. I'll send it to you.
No, I looked it up. He's not. He's not the top.
Yeah.
All right. Well, find that statistician. I was talking about Blake Freeland.
Wait, that's not true. That's not fair. He's a statistician. He's in the bet.
Blake Freeland from BYU. That's what I was thinking.
You talking about basketball?
No. He played football. He's the offensive tackle for BYU. He was real high.
You're right. He's top 3.
I knew he wasn't the top.
Behind Aaron Donald and Jeffrey Simmons.
Nobody's matching Aaron Donald.
You're right.
You said offensive tackle or defensive tackle?
Dexter
Blake Freeland? Who
are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about Jim.
Yeah, offensive tackle now. Yeah, he got drafted.
He got drafted?
Yeah, he got drafted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is he on your radar?
Because he was one of the tackles that the 49ers was looking at to replace Mike McGlinchey. Don't. Yeah.
You take your word for it.
Say he'd have paired up real nice with Big Boy on the other side, with Big Trent. Anyway, since we continuing on with this sports train, let's go ahead and shift gears real quick. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs. Let's talk about how the Los Angeles Lakers got punched in the mouth last night. Which, I mean, everybody kind of saw it happening. I know Fleck is very, very happy about that being a Celtics fan.
I don't care.
You do.
I don't care.
I really don't.
I'm gonna send Kyrie
back
to the Celtics
though, because this has been a weird playoffs. Nobody thought season. That Harden would drop 45 against Boston, then get the MVP back, and then lose by like 45. Right. We don't know.
Yeah, and I think with that one, I think Philly plays a lot looser. Like they're not trying to force the ball into Embiid when obviously if he's out, they're not trying to force the ball inside.
Right.
They're taking the shots that are given to them.
Right.
But with Embiid on the floor, they're trying to, they're force feeding him.
Right.
You're the MVP, we got to force. Harden was like 2 of 6.
Right. They're not playing as loose as they should be playing or could be playing.
What shocked me was Boston won that game by 30 with Tatum only scoring 7 points.
Like I said, weird.
Yeah. I mean, that one was like
how many points one B scored?
25, I think it was.
Soon to be Portland Trailblazer 1B. Well, actually 1A when he gets over there. But
hey, if we can get Damian,
yeah, about to get no damn Damian. Shut up. But all the series are tied 1-1 except for one. What y'all think about to happen with these Suns out in the desert of Phoenix?
and get their shirt ripped off and ran around.
If they don't get their act together, they're
going home early.
Let me tell you something that I don't think anybody is ready to hear. This is quite possibly the best team that Phoenix Suns can put together, and he still can't win. So that means what? You got to break them up. You got to go about your business. Got to do what the Nets did. Hey, it ain't working. Everybody got to go because for some reason we don't know. CP3 is always injured come to playoff time. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are playing fine, but they don't play defense. And Denver is just scorching the crap out of them. And Kevin Durant is a good defensive player, but for some reason he just ain't doing it this playoff.
Right.
This team doesn't get any better than what they got.
I'm going to tell you what.
He's
that's the name I'm talking about right there. Because he getting his head knocked in every game. He is getting tore to shred. Aiden.
DeAndre Ayton
hit upside his head.
Aiden got his bread and was like,
I ain't got to do
it. Back-to-back MVP and Jokic.
I mean,
and it's looking like it.
Yeah.
Jokic is the Harlem Globetrotters, and DeAndre Ayton is the Washington Generals.
The Washington Generals.
You don't know what to do. He can't move his feet.
I think Phoenix traded away a lot of their depth to get KD. They traded away Bridges. They traded away the Johnson.
Cam Johnson.
I couldn't remember his first name.
Cam Johnson, yeah.
They traded away a lot of their depth. You know
and
what I mean?
What's his name went to Milwaukee, right?
No, they went to
they sent somebody to Milwaukee, right? What's his name?
They sent Jay Crowder.
Oh, Jay Crowder.
Yeah, the Crowder
went. He wasn't playing anyway. And
he just was.
Speaking of Milwaukee.
Yep, speaking of him.
Fired a
championship
coach.
He just got
who just led you to the number one seed.
You're number one seed.
That one at all. I don't understand that one at
number
all.
One seed 2 years in a row?
Yes, it was disappointing that they got put out by the Heat in the first round, but I don't think it should have cost him his job.
Okay.
What's the move now? What do you do now?
Let me bring y'all in on a little knowledge that many people may not know or how to put together. And this might be breaking news, heard it here first. Let's talk about what we do know. Budenholzer's brother died in a car accident during the playoffs. Yes. We knew that already.
Oh, no.
Maybe that affected his coaching. We got that.
It would have affected mine.
But I'm going to tell you something that people don't know. As quiet as Greek Freak is, he can leave. Yep. Greek Freak and Budenholzer don't see eye to eye. And those reports are not out there, but they're out there. They're trying to secure Antetokounmpo, so the next coach that comes in might be Antetokounmpo's choice, and then he'll probably sign long term. Antetokounmpo even said himself, he's ready to move on, and he's ready to stay. He's like, he can go either way. Anything is possible out there in Milwaukee.
I particularly like his response to the reporter's question when they asked how he felt about the failure of the season. I like how he went off on him real quick. Like,
you're like, did you get promoted this year?
Right.
My man was up there dancing, trying to save himself. It was too late.
So Giannis ain't a free agent until 2026.
No, they're trying to sign a long term. No, I get that. No, I get that. What I'm saying is he's not trying to sign that long-term contract right now.
Well, you said he could go. That's what I was.
He can go. Because if he's not going to sign that long-term contract, guess what? What I'm telling you, hold on. I'm going to throw something else out there. The Knicks are trying to trade pretty much the whole squad for him. That's what I mean. He can go.
I mean,
the Milwaukee would have to want to trade him though.
But he doesn't want to. If he doesn't want to sign long term, it's another Anthony Davis situation.
Right.
He's not signing long term.
Right. It's either I trade you and get something for you, or I lose you for nothing.
Yeah, and that's where they're at. So before it gets that bad,
free agent.
I understand that. So before it gets that bad, they're trying to, which is BS to me. They just won a championship and the number one seed. I thought that was garbage. There had to be an argument behind the scenes that says, "Hey, I just lost my brother. You guys didn't give me the time off, blah, blah, blah." There's little things we probably don't know. But again, what we do know is him and Giannis necessarily didn't see eye to eye. Milwaukee wants to sign Giannis long term, but Giannis doesn't want to sign long term right now.
Call him Giannis.
I love how you call him Giannis. I love that.
We'll trade Jaylen Brown for him.
Jaylen Brown, now you trade one B for him.
Hey.
Speaking of,
so somebody said trade Holiday or Middleton has a $40 million player option.
You know who that is.
I don't know who that is because I can't.
I'm trying to tell you who it is. Speaking of arguments behind the scenes and things you might not, we might not know, and that probably won't ever come to light. What's going on with Mr. Poke the Bears? I don't respect them until they drop 40.
Well, they lost by 40. So they dropped 40 on him.
Who you think had words for him in the locker room?
Nobody. He took his shit and went home.
I was about to say, we can sit here and speculate. Exactly.
It was actually the opposite.
That's what I was about to say.
It's actually the opposite.
Team underperformed.
Yeah. John Morant had his back. John Morant put the loss on himself being a superstar. John Morant defended Dillon Brooks. You know, the reports that's out there obviously is what we saw where he ran his mouth and it run nothing else after that. Not his mouth, not his feet, not his hands, nothing. That's what we saw. You can't talk smack and then disappear. That's one of my pet peeves when it comes to a person.
Yeah.
You know, you can't talk smack and then get.
But that wasn't the reason they lost. Regardless of whether he talked crap and didn't back it up or not, that wasn't the reason they lost. And whoever said that Dillon Brooks was the fall guy, that's what I believe. You know what I'm saying? But it's by the media. It's not his teammates. His teammates aren't labeling him as a fall guy. That's the media piling on him. I don't like Dillon Brooks. Y'all know how
label him as somebody that needs to keep his mouth shut because he ain't as good as he tried to talk.
I guarantee you right now, if Dillon Brooks had signed that multi-year deal that was offered to him before, he would him and the Grizzlies beefing right now would not even be a thing because he's under contract. It's only because he's not under contract once his playoffs end that he's an issue.
But I don't. But that's the thing. Like, it's the media that's making it an issue. Like, nobody on the Grizzlies side is coming out and saying, "Hey, Dillon Brooks."
The GM said we're not signing him whatsoever right now. They usually you don't hear that from the team.
Did they say that?
Yes.
Or was that the report?
No, that came from the GM.
I didn't hear the GM say that out of his mouth. I saw the report that said that that's what was said.
Well, we have to believe that.
No, we don't.
You know the GM person.
Do we really?
What I'm saying, you're not going to quote the GM and post it as a lie. You know. Now, the lie again. I'm with you. The lie is he was the fall guy. He's not. The team had his back. The media made that up. I got you back on that one. I agree with you on that one. What I'm saying is the GM says we will not be signing Dillon Brooks. And there's more to it than just the playoffs. We offered him a contract twice already.
Right. Dillon Brooks that's the part I was talking about. I was talking about the under no circumstances part.
Right.
They're saying that they didn't say that. That's the part I'm talking about. Yes, you're right. That was said, what you just said. That, we tried to sign him. He didn't want to sign. Good luck to him. But under no circumstances, that was
that part wasn't.
Nobody said that. Yeah. Or it wasn't said. That was what Sham said. His source said.
We don't deal with Sham.
I just know if he was under contract, this would be a non-issue.
Right.
It should be a non-issue anyway, because he's not.
Well, the media got to find something. Got to find somebody to blame.
Right.
If this was like, honestly, if this was John Morant that we were talking about instead of Dillon Brooks, then yes, that would be a story. But
he became the story once he opened his mouth about LeBron James. He made himself the story.
And he made himself the fall guy because he opened up his mouth.
I'll agree to that much. He did that.
Now, speaking of some people who will not be back under any circumstances, y'all see what's happening out in Colorado. 71 players then entered the portal. Because
it's up to 71 now?
71.
Yeah,
Because
71.
Deion told him he was coming with baggage, and he didn't lie to him.
Last time I looked, it was at 60. Now,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's steadily climbing.
The only thing I'm concerned about, in all that is the AD saying we have his back. As long as they have his back, let him do what he has to do. Give him the 3 to 5 years. Let him, turn around. If you got players leaving every season, every year, throughout the year, then I'll be concerned.
Right.
Well, no,
let it play out.
The players that are leaving now aren't his players.
Well, some of them are. Some are.
No, some of them are.
Yeah, some of them are the ones that he brought that came after he became head coach, and he's trying to change. He's trying to change that culture and make sure that that team doesn't go, with the one win again. I get it, but the way he's going about it, we'll see. Because he's going to have to. He's going to have to win.
I like Prime, but how do you go into a kid's home and tell his parents that, you want him to play for your team when you got players going in and out like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's going to make it.
In are going right back out the door. Like, how can you go into a kid's home and convince his parents to let that kid, trust you with their kid?
Right.
Sometimes this is what I'm hearing. You go in there and go visit 4 quarterbacks, right? And tell all 4 quarterbacks they have the potential to start. That's how the conversation starts. Hey, this is my system. You'll be good in my system. That's the second part. The third part is the previous quarterback is gone. The job can be yours. Again, his wording, without promising, he's promising. And now that's what I'm pretty sure what he's telling everybody until they get to camp. And now you see the same 4 or 5 guys for the one position. Well, you told me I'm the starter. And I said, no. I said, you can't start. And I'm pretty sure that's where they're at.
Yeah. And I mean, like he's using what he feels is the right format. And I give him that. And like he said, this isn't his first rodeo, but there's a lot riding on this. Mm-hmm. A lot. And depending upon if they can buy into his system and what he's trying to get out of them, I mean, it could change the culture, but he got a long road to climb. He's got a long road to climb, and man, and I get somebody put in the comments that for all those the players that are leaving now were the 1-11 team. A lot of them were, but that's not all of them. They didn't have 71 players, from that team. There's a lot of kids that came after Prime got there that are now leaving because they just don't want to be there, and the portal's an option.
Yep.
The portal is always an option. So.
The portal is an option, and it's an option for more than just football. Because you see right now in women's NCAA, they using it. How many we got now, Rob? We got 2.
Y'all got 2 phenomenal players that came in. You got the guard from Louisville, and then you got the other, I think she's a point guard that came from DePaul today. So LSU is raking it in. That team, if they put this together the right way, it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough sledding for anybody to get past them. And I cannot wait for that very first LSU South Carolina game next year.
I can't wait for it.
It's going to be insanity.
Because South Carolina sitting there saying if it was us y'all played, y'all wouldn't have won. So
I agree with that. But again,
it's going to be crazy.
But South Carolina can't say that. They crapped the bed against Iowa, so they can't say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't say, "Oh, if it would have been us," because it wasn't y'all. Y'all had a chance to make it.
Y'all was there.
You lost. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You had that chance.
They just didn't maximize it. Yeah, they didn't maximize it, and they had the best chance of anybody because I think their bracket was the easiest bracket to get there. I think they didn't have as tough a bracket. So
it wasn't fair for them to say.
Clark has something to say about that.
It wasn't fair for them to say it would have been us.
Look, Caitlin always has something to say, and she's going to be heard. So, and the question in the chat, wasn't it always going to be a hard climb? They were 1-11. I mean, yeah, true enough, but you don't think it's going to be a little bit harder now that you have the eyes on you right now, and everybody's listening, everybody's paying attention. You would have had an easier climb with that 1-11 team, I think, because people would overlook you. They're not going to overlook you this year. Well, they're going to be looking for it.
No, they wasn't going to, because he came there running his mouth anyway.
You know what I mean? They're not overlooking him.
So it wasn't, you know what I'm saying, anything out of the norm for him.
Right.
But he came there running his mouth anyway. So even if he would have kept those players from that 1-11 team, if he would have went 1-11, he was going to hear about it. Yeah. It wouldn't have been you know what I'm saying? We understand. No.
Yeah. No. There wasn't going to be any understanding whatsoever. You're going to have to fight, period. So everybody's going to be looking for, who's their very first game? Anybody know what their first game is?
I'll look it up.
Not yet.
We're going to find out what's going on that very first game.
It better not be against USC, though.
It better not be, because I think Mr. Caleb is going to wild out that first game. They might want to catch Caleb farther down the road.
So their first game is against TCU.
That's not good.
Well, I mean, TCU's got a lot of turnover. They lost both starting receivers. They lost their quarterback. They lost their cornerback. They lost their running back. They lost a lot of pieces. I'm not saying that, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be easy sledding.
Yeah, yeah. So also this
their fifth game.
The fifth game, okay.
Yeah, but they got Oregon before USC.
Who's
don't look like Auburn's Bo Nix.
Yeah, no, Bo Nix is playing out of his mind right now. He looks really good in that offense. Who put the comment? You do realize that when Spurrier got to South Carolina once. So John, you do remember that we went 7-6 our first year with Saban because he had all the players that were there before him. He had to go out that next year and recruit new players. And so, yeah, he made changes, but not like this.
Usually first year doesn't go as planned,
Right.
You're playing with other people's players, for a while. So the transfer portal has changed up everything, though. So
sometimes it's a whole new game changer.
Dion can't say that, though.
Yeah. I'm saying
he's not playing with somebody else's players.
Right.
71 player turnover, you playing with your players.
Right.
Yeah, he's getting all his off the cuff. Yeah.
I'm just hoping, and I hope this don't come out the wrong way. I just hope that his focus and love for the HBCU doesn't take away for the goal at Colorado, meaning like he's focusing on having the minority players instead of the most talented players. I'm saying again, I'm hoping he's not.
I don't think that's it at all. Though.
I don't either. I don't think so.
I don't think that's it at all. Like I think I don't care black, white, yellow, green.
Yeah.
If they give him the best chance to win, he's going to go out and get him.
Yep.
He was speaking more.
It's just that he came from an HBCU and he knows what they're going through. I don't think that necessarily is going to cloud his recruiting. I don't think he's going to just recruit black players or minority players.
No, I'm talking about the crusade itself. With him getting on the NFL about just drafting one HBCU player.
I understand.
That's just him. What he's saying is, though, what he's trying to bring.
Social fight it's a long-term fight in itself.
You have to remember. Jackson State gave him his first opportunity to coach at the collegiate level.
Right.
So, of course, he's going to have that affinity for that HBCU. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I understand that part. But I don't think that, you know what I'm saying, to respond to what you said, I don't think that because he advocates for HBCUs is going to cloud his judgment of recruiting at Colorado.
Yeah. The thing with beyond the whole comment about the HBCUs, not getting more than one player drafted, he's more so speaking about how HBCU football teams are overlooked by the NFL, and there's not enough emphasis being put on the quality of player. I don't think it had anything to do with, him trying to, do anything at Colorado. But
TV deals or lack thereof, or the exposure.
Well, they're getting more now. Thankfully, because they have their own combine, and HBCUs have a combine now also, so that so NFL teams can come in and.
But isn't that part of the problem though? Why are the HBCUs having to have their own combine? Why are they not getting invited to the draft combine?
Well, I mean, there are Power 5 players that don't get invited to the. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I mean, there's Power 5 players that don't get invited to the combine.
Right.
So but I mean, not any though. I don't think any HBCU player has got invited in the last probably like 5 to 7 years to the combine.
There's only 20, maybe 25 picks every year. And then the combine only shows about 100 people. And obviously, majority of them come from the Power 5 conferences. So
most years there's like 300 invitees to the combine.
So
most years.
I think instead of having a combine, they should just be more focused on pro days than combines. In other words, the school need to be like, hey, we got players too.
Right.
Because the pro days is about more of the school, sponsoring it than the players.
Right.
And I think, and what I'm saying, this is, no, I'm not even gonna touch that. I'm gonna leave that.
Now, will they go?
Because that opens up a whole other can of worms.
Will the teams go to those pro days if they have those pro days?
And that's what I was about to say.
Will
a team come to Montgomery, Alabama to watch Alabama State?
Jackson.
You know what I'm saying?
But Jackson, Mississippi,
Jackson, Mississippi to watch Jackson. I'm not saying that they won't, but how likely is it?
You definitely won't get the 30 NFL teams.
Especially, and see the thing, and the reason why I'm okay with them having a combine is because even with the pro days, you might have 2 or 3 players on that one team that are NFL
ready
possibilities.
Right.
So why am I going, what I'm saying? And this is me playing devil's advocate. I don't agree with this, but why would I go to Montgomery to watch a guy that might be a 6th round pick and he's the only draftable player on that team?
When I can bring them all to Indianapolis or wherever the combine.
Or wherever, yeah. So I kind of understand that.
How about I meet you guys halfway? And obviously, I don't have the power to do none of this crap. Why can't the conferences have a pro day? Why can't the Southwest, the SWAC? Why can't the MAC?
And that's kind of what the HBCU combine is. I mean, to be honest,
it shouldn't be HBCU where it's just.
Well, everybody in the SWAC is an HBCU though.
I'm trying to meet you guys halfway.
Everybody in the SWAC
we don't have the power.
HBCU. Everybody in the SWAC is HBCU though. So it kind of is. You know what I mean? The SWAC is HBCU.
I just think like the AAC, the Pac-10, the players who don't go to the NFL combine, the Pac-10 be like, hey, let's all meet at the Rose Bowl, and the rest of these guys are athletes just as much. I don't know. Because
again, it gets into if I'm an NFL team, why am I going to send a contingent to watch somebody that might be an undrafted free agent? I mean? Like, why are we going to send? Why are we going to dedicate these resources to watching? Some guys that might be undrafted free agents anyway.
I think I'm understanding what Amir is talking about. Is basically what you were just saying about why would we send them to the schools when we can have one conference pro day, and that's the same thing you're saying. So instead of everybody doing that. All the conferences just have their own pro days, just like the SWAC is doing, or the HBCUs are doing their own combine. The different conferences, that's what they call, right? Conference.
Yes.
Because
They do their own combine too.
But if you got 300, only about 250 people are going to be drafted every year, right? The combine invites 300.
Right.
So you got more than likely your top 250 players in that one spot anyway. So, you know what I'm saying? Yes, those other guys might not get drafted, but that's why the schools who host pro days have those guys that, you know what I'm saying, if I'm a Caleb Williams at USC as the quarterback, I'm going to have my senior receivers out there that I'm throwing to. You know what I'm saying? These guys might not get drafted, but they're going to get the exposure because of Caleb Williams.
I know. We're just talking about as far as the social outlook. I think it sounds better when we say the SWAC is hosting a pro day than the HBCU is hosting a combine. You know?
I mean, but if you know what the SWAC is, then you know that
I know, but it just
anyway.
I'm not knocking HBC because they're trying to put themselves out there, but you'd be surprised at how many scouts would be like, okay, if the SWAC is hosting a combine, then the AAC is hosting a combine. We'll go to them instead of saying, well, I don't know if I want to go to Jackson, Mississippi to go to Jacksonville State or whatever, whatever it is,
Right. No, and I understand.
It's just the sounding of things. Yes, sometimes we do have to color it. I understand what you guys are saying. And we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to.
Exactly.
I agree. We shouldn't have to. But sometimes, if you want, and that's what Deion is fighting for, going full circle, that's what Deion Sanders is fighting for, the HBCU to be seen more. The conference has to back up his intent of what he wants, which is what all of us want. A fair chance.
But they do. They just call it the HBCU combine. They don't call it the SWAC combine.
No, and that's the thing. It shouldn't be that. That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be that. It should be because right now it's like the SWAC is like, you guys do what you want. Because I guarantee you, if there's a board at the SWAC, probably 10 of them are white. They don't have and I might be putting my foot in my mouth.
Say that again.
But we don't know what the board is.
Say that again.
Say it one more time.
I missed
the
that.
board
members of the SWAC
of the conference.
You
say they're all HBCU.
Majority black.
I was about to say
that doesn't mean the conference is all black.
They're majority black. They're majority black. Yeah, majority black.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know.
Yeah, they're majority black. They're about 80 summers. Yeah, that's.
I didn't hear you say it again.
They're majority black.
Majority black. Yeah.
You said majority. Exactly.
80%.
There's still some white in there.
Oh yeah.
But in the Power Five, there's some minorities in there. I mean, I don't understand. I'm
saying that SWAC needs to put their name on it, not HBCU. That's what I'm saying.
Just only the SWAC.
So don't call it the HBCU combine. Call it the SWAC combine.
Yeah,
but it's not only SWAC.
I know that's what I'm trying to get at. Every conference should have a combine, a pro day.
But again, if they start breaking down these smaller conferences, you know what I'm saying, that how many people, you know what I'm saying, realistically are going to show up?
You run less of a chance of having people.
Players. Instead of Auburn, Alabama hosting their own, it's an SEC pro day.
But I don't understand, like, what would be the purpose of that? Yeah. When the top players from Auburn and the top players from Alabama are going to go to the NFL combine anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, but they still host their own pro day.
Right. And that's where you get those undrafted, those, you know what I'm saying, 7th round possibilities. That's where they get their shine. Where
CJ Stroud CJ Stroud did a pro day at Ohio State, right? What I'm saying is, why can't the Big Ten host that? instead of Ohio State.
Because then you run the risk of, where CJ Stroud might be throwing to a relative. I mean, he was throwing to Marvin Harrison Jr., so I'm not saying that. But
who wasn't eligible for the draft.
Right. But he's throwing to a possible unknown that's getting shine that otherwise wouldn't get that shine. You know what I'm saying? If you expand it to something bigger.
And plus the schools want to make sure, but you got to look also because those schools, you got to think about the schools though. They're going to want to have their top players shine. And they're where are they going to be more comfortable than shining at their own facilities where they're already practicing at, where they're already with players that they already built rapport with.
I agree with that 100%.
And you guys are not wrong. Obviously, it's worked for decades and centuries. What I'm saying is, obviously, it's a hypothetical, kind of like Trey Lance trade. Hypothetical. Hey, why can't Will Anderson work out against a top 5 offensive lineman?
At the NFL Combine, he does. That's what I'm saying. At the NFL Combine, he does that.
No, everybody doesn't participate in the pro day. We get that. Pro day is minuscule.
And who's to say that they're going to do that if it's a conference pro day?
I mean, you never do know. You never know what'll happen. But like Amir said, these are all hypotheticals, and it's just stuff that we're thinking about. And nobody in the NFL is listening to us, or they might be. Y'all know where we at. But before we get out of here, real quick, y'all know things are happening tomorrow. Tomorrow's Kentucky Derby Saturday. Tomorrow's Backlash. Kentucky. Y'all know they had those 4 horses that died at the Kentucky Derby, which is weird.
That's crazy. Rob, what's going on with that? That's crazy.
So I was reading earlier this week.
I know we need to get out of here. But
yeah, we got to get out of here. So I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible. So they had 2 horses that collapsed earlier in the week, and they're doing autopsies to figure out what happened to those 2. And then all of a sudden, 2 other horses that are owned by the same owner have catastrophic injuries, and they have to be euthanized.
So they
in the same week. And yep, they brought it up. It's for using steroids, so it's going to be interesting. This Derby is under a heavy cloud of shade right now because people are really wondering what in the world is going on right now with Kentucky Derby. So it's going to be interesting.
Marred in controversy. Before we get out of here, we just want to shout out Serena Williams real quick. Congratulations. She is pregnant with the babies. What?
Who made the last comment? Who said that?
John Marshall.
I agree with that 100%. That was the point I was making.
That's spot on.
Well, we know we went over our time a little bit, but we thank y'all for being with us. Y'all stuck with us, and we stick with y'all. What's people like, huh?
Oh, Backlash.
Backlash is happening. SmackDown is going on in Puerto Rico.
UFC.
It's a lot.
Kentucky Derby. What else? There was something else. What am I missing, Amir?
UFC this weekend, NBA playoffs.
NBA playoffs.
Yeah. Game 3 tonight and tomorrow.
Tito. I know who that one is. No Tito.
So y'all already know what's going on.
Canelo fight. That's what it is. Canelo fight.
Canelo. That's right.
And Wilder did get arrested for.
Hey, I'm with him on that one. He said rather be safe than sorry. I'm with him on that.
Did you see the hand kick? He was shooting a gold Desert Eagle. He had a gold Desert Eagle.
Javante Davis got house arrest today.
And 3 years probation. That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Henry Ruggs took the plea deal. Man, let's go ahead and get out of here.
Keep it moving. I'm so disgusted.
We can leave that one alone because all his people live near me.
Oh, yeah, we ain't gonna say nothing. We appreciate y'all joining us. This has been the All Sports Matter podcast. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.